The thorn in Alabama's side, the University of Alabama football has now retired. A day to remember.
What?
As Gus Malzahn has retired from the game.
Oh, okay.
The thorn in Alabama's side no longer with the Florida State Seminoles as the offensive coordinator, as he has retired, and he has coached his last game.
So who do we get to be the offensive coordinator for Florida State when they come into Tuscaloosa next year?
Well, you have Norvell calling plays.
Yeah.
So Norvell, with his track record at play calls, makes, honestly, as an Alabama fan, makes me a little bit a little happier, a little more confident in the game, especially this late in the offseason. Well, excuse me, not really this late, but this time of the offseason.
It's early, baby.
At this point, with all the coaching changes around the country, man, it feels late, but it's not. It's truly not late within the offseason. But, guys, we got so much to talk about today. This is the Off the Bench College Football Show. I'm your host, Kelsey Huff. I'm Pop sitting across the camera from me.
What's up, guys?
Now, we have some things to go over tonight. So, way too early, top 12, the playoff field. The expectations, the previews for it, CBS has released one. And I think it's interesting. I think a lot of the really where the positions are, how everything had set up for them, I don't agree with it. There's a lot of things I don't agree with. I think we're going to get into that. We're going to have a lot of disagreements. We're going to play a game called higher and lower with it, or if they're sitting at the same spot, then that's what we'll say too. You guys can get involved with it as well as too. Just hit us up on YouTube on the comment section right there. No need to go anywhere else, and we'll see it right here on the screen for us to get into. Charles Bediako, more news on the case in Alabama as college basketball as they is now going. They're 0-2 in the last two games, lost 2 in a row. Bediako really not making.
They play tonight, do they not? Or they might be playing right now.
It could be. He's not making much of a difference there. Tennessee quarterback Joey Aguilar has been granted a restraining order against the NCAA as he fights for his 6th year of eligibility in college football. And, of course, the debut segment of the Off the Bench Verdict tonight as well. You guys can answer that. We're going to get to all of it, more of that on Saturday as we go through there. But, yeah, you can hit us up there on Facebook at the original post and let us know what you think to the question. That question reads, overall, is NIL helping or hurting college football as a whole? Some fans say it's leveling the playing field. Others say it's turning the sport into free agency without rules. So you guys can head over there to Facebook at Off the Bench CFB Show. Give us your thoughts on it. And, of course, the comment with the most traction, we're going to leave it right on the show, and we're going to talk about it right here Saturday morning, 9 to 11, available here and, of course, on 7:30 a.m., 103.9 FM, Jocks Huntsville, and iHeartRadio. So, guys, let's get into it. A lot of things to talk on the show tonight. Only an hour to get into it, so let's go for it. So, way too early, the top 12, which in this universe, this is where they're expecting it to end, and at the end of the regular season, heading towards the college football playoff. So, Pops, let's lead it off right here.
Okay.
The number one team, and I'm going to go through this and read a little bit about them, and you're going to tell me if it's going to be higher or lower, where you think they'll finish at the end of the year.
So before you start this, I got to do a change in my attitude. My wife told me that that I was being a little mean. So, okay, I'm good now. All right. Let's
shake it all out right here.
Shake it. All right, let's do it.
The number one team in the country that is expected to finish for the college football playoff, Miami.
Oh, man, I'm supposed to react to that?
I mean, recency bias could be there. Mario Cristobal has another really good roster coming in. Dorian Mensah coming in from Duke. Malachi Toney returning there, the superstar wideout breakout freshman. He continues for his sophomore campaign. It's a 3rd consecutive year under the passing game with offensive coordinator Shannon Dawson. And the issues on the team right now, they're losing Reuben Bain, star pass rusher from last season. But there's a lot of really reloading going on that defensive side for Miami. Is this worrisome for the ACC? Could they be, again, one of the top dogs and really face no competition? So, Dad, what do you think?
I think it's way too early to give anybody a ranking. Okay. I mean, I know that's a generic way to go. But I see where you're going with Miami. You got that Fletcher running back coming back. You got a lot of key pieces. You got a new quarterback. But you know how I thought about Miami at the end of the year this year? I was all over Carson Beck, all right? And I do think you got to have an experienced quarterback to bring all that together.
Yeah.
And that's what Carson Beck did this year, But I tell you what I've got circled about Miami coming up. I mean, they got a big game again against Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's November 7th, if I remember right, something like that, somewhere in that fall schedule. But, are they the number one team? I don't know. I mean, you saw what happened. Nobody picked Indiana to be the number one team last year.
Yeah.
And, so that's kind of how much confidence I have in these rankings. But I'll play your game. Let's go.
Okay. All right. Vagabond hitting us up on YouTube. You mean way too early rankings with 2 O's.
Oh, man, Kelsey, we talked about this
before
the show ever started.
Right before the show, we're going on about this, and I stuck to my guns, and I said there's only 1 O, and I was proven wrong before the show started. Didn't want to go through the headache of changing everything, so my flaws will stay out in the open on this episode forever.
Hey, Vagabond, thank you for calling him out on that. I think he thought I was full of it. I think he needs to remember what I used to do for a living. I used to run magazines and newspapers. I know the difference between TO and TOO.
Well, I was wrong.
TWO.
And I like to think that I'm right about a lot of times with grammar and things like that, and I got that one wrong. And I'll admit it. I'll wear the clown nose. I'll wear it. We don't have one actively.
We'll call it the crown of shame. Maybe we need to get one of those.
Crown of shame.
So Kelsey,
I'll wear the crown of shame today.
No, you're going to wear it on Saturday morning.
Saturday morning,
when we're doing the radio show and, we're live on YouTube, and you are going to wear the crown of shame, and we'll have to remind everyone while you're wearing it, because you do not know the difference between TO and TOO.
Fair enough. Okay, so my thoughts on Miami being ranked this high. I think it's too high. I think in a way they have a lot of returning production, but at the same time, a lot of changeover happening. Dorian Mensah, it's never going to be an easily slide in, plug and play quarterback, especially with Beck being gone now, moving toward the NFL. Dorian Mensah is not going to really be able to step into that role and function perfectly fine. Now, he's got a lot of time before that. But with everything shaking up, we know how weak the ACC has been in the past. I think Miami's going to be right there in this in the playoff field, but I don't think they're going to be number one.
No, I mean, you just mentioned the quarterback's got to get ready for that big game against Notre Dame. Just think about the revenge factor that Notre Dame will have in that game. It's going to be a great game.
Speaking of Notre Dame,
yeah,
number 2 in the way too early rankings with 2 O's. Notre Dame sits there high atop with Miami, right below it, number 2. Graced with a playoff assurance next season and the schedule that is very favorable for the country for among contenders. It's going to take a lot to remove Notre Dame with this spot, not only because of their MOU within the college football playoff. If they're ranked in the top 12, they will be in the playoff. That helps them a lot more than other teams. So sitting in this spot, I think it's a fair way to grade them. They have a lot of starters returning, a lot of people on the transfer market coming in. They're anticipating a Heisman-like season from sophomore quarterback C.J. Carr. He won 10 straight starts to end his freshman campaign. There's a lot of good things happening for Notre Dame here. Pops, higher or lower?
I think they're going to be fine at number 2, and they're going to stay at number 2. When you talk about a schedule that opens up with Wisconsin, and then you go play Rice.
Yeah.
We'll play Michigan State. We'll play some Big Ten football, right? And then you play Purdue, North Carolina, Stanford, and then you finally play a ranked team about 7 games in, BYU, and then you only play 2 other ranked teams for the rest of the year, and the current top 20, early top 25. So they'll stay number 2. They'll look sharp. They're going to look great, and then they're going to sit there and they're going to get to play Miami. They'll play Miami at home though, and they got to also play SMU. Okay, they're playing that at home too. So they're going to stay number 2. They may be number 1 before it's all over with.
Okay. I'm with you. I think this is kind of where they need to be placed. I think Notre Dame, with the MOU being involved, how their schedule ranks up, CJ Carr returning. He's a great quarterback.
Yep.
He's a future, top 2 round picks, right? So I'm with you. I think Notre Dame's graded correctly here. I think they were put in a good spot. I think this is about where they'll be at that point in the season. Number 3 on this list, Texas Longhorns at number 3. So they had an early season loss last year to Ohio State.
Right off the bat.
Okay. Things could change that this year. They have a lot of things going for them. Will Muschamp, a veteran defensive coordinator, added to the defensive coordinator for Texas there. In other news, Arch Manning returning. We saw a little bit worry from Arch. He kind of settled in later toward the year. There's a lot of good things going for Texas in this game. Pops, what do you think? Higher or lower?
This is one of those. I think Texas should probably be ranked number 1.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I just, you can sit there, and I'm the one who was all over Superman, Mr. Arch, last year. I mean, I was all over him at the beginning of the year. I thought he looked like a second-string quarterback. He was making those young mistakes, but as he matured throughout the year, okay, and let's not also forget what they picked up in the NIL. It seemed like Texas was grabbing everybody, right? I know they got the receivers, they got the linemen, they got those DBs, and their schedule. I mean, they're playing in the SEC. We sit there and like to talk about that strong SEC schedule, but they do have Ohio State again, week 2.
Yeah.
In Austin.
Yep.
So they get to play at home this year. But I think they're going to be more prepared for that game. And that's one of those where I could see Texas being number 1. So I have to say higher.
Okay, fair enough here. They have a lot of incoming transfers we still had talked about. Cam Coleman going over there. I think that solidifies their wide receiver core a little bit better, which I thought they lacked a lot of last year. Yeah. I didn't think they were great at that position group. So with Arch Manning returning, getting some production at the wide receivers, I think it's a recipe for success. Will Muschamp moving in there? I'm sure he's already looking toward the tape toward Ohio State. They get past Ohio State. I think that really throws an early test at this Texas team. And I think a lot of what we saw last year during the season was a lot of teams were very unprepared toward the beginning of the season. And later on, we saw them kind of solidify their stance toward the end of the year. And it really kind of looked to show that a lot of these early teams that we thought, okay, they haven't figured it out, they're not going to finish high. It flipped the script towards later in the season. This coming season, we're really early, so nothing we're saying stands now. We can always change opinions here at Off the Bench.
I do want to sit there and stress Texas' schedule next year. I kind of made a comment about it, but right off the bat, it's Texas State. They play Tennessee. They play Oklahoma, Florida. They get to play Ole Miss at home, okay? And then you got Missouri at Missouri, and then LSU at LSU. And then, of course, it's Texas A&M to end the season. So they don't have the Georgia on the schedule this year. They don't have Bama on the schedule this year. But, man, Texas' schedule is going to be tough, man.
Yeah, I've no doubt this is going to be
tough schedule.
But I think an early throw it with an Ohio State roster with returning pieces like Julian Sain, Jeremiah Smith, and if they can get past them, it really throws that early test at them early, and I think they have a chance to overcome a lot of those later seasons or later games in the season with the SEC schedule and slate. Now, we're not taking lightly the SEC schedule and slate there, but I think an early test like Ohio State is really good for this. Carl hitting us up on YouTube, Texas lower, not sold on Arch. That's fair enough.
Man, little brother, how can you not be sold on Arch?
That's fair.
What he did at the end of the year.
So I'm in the stance of I actually think they're ranked nearly where they should be ranked at. I don't think I think once we see that really good breakout game from Arch, which I think will come earlier in the season, playing these lower ranked teams when they should be able to beat these teams as much as they could be. So I think it'll solidify their stance there. So I'm going same there. All right, number 4 on this list, Indiana. No, we're not being biased by what they just came out of. In fact, this is even lower than it should be if we're really biased about Indiana. So here's the deal with Indiana, right? A lot of their rosters turning over. Signetti's doing what he's doing. He's recruiting experienced players in the portal. They've had a good portal class come in terms of talent. It's top 10. Signetti has apparently called this chapter 3, his third season here at Indiana. But He's possibly some questions on these guys. Josh Hoover coming in from TCU. Is he really the quarterback that's going to transform this Indiana team from what we saw Mendoza do last year? Is he really replacement for Mendoza? Turbo Richards coming in. What's the deal with Indiana? Bob's higher or lower?
Well, you get them at 4, right?
Yeah.
4. Sure, they can stay where they're at. They're not going to move. You won't see any move in Indiana's rankings. They're going to be good. If you would have, again, I keep saying, if you'd have told me this time last year, we'd be talking about Indiana football as much as we've been talking about it. But, hats off. They're national champions this year, right? But when you start the year with North Texas, Howard, Western Kentucky, and Northwestern, yeah, I don't see them moving anywhere for the first month. And then really the 2 big games they get to play, they play 3 big games the rest of the year. They do have Ohio State, okay? They go to Michigan, right? They go to the Big House. And then they'll play USC and Washington, Purdue to close it out. But I think they'll stay where they are. They don't go undefeated. Mendoza was one of those once a generation quarterbacks that made the right decisions. But I think they'll pretty much stay where they are. They're not moving.
Call me an Indiana hater.
Yeah,
I don't think the roster that's being shaped up by Cignetti here is as good as it was last year. Now, we questioned them a lot during the season last year at the beginning of the season. We questioned it to no end.
Yeah.
I just don't think the Indiana roster that's incoming, that's been supplemented through the transfer portal, has the talent that we saw that Cignetti can turn water into wine like he did with the past year's team. I just don't think it's there. Do I think this is do I think they're not going to be a good team? No, I expect them to be in the playoff race, but there's probably going to be some good Big Ten teams next year, right? Looking at the possibility of
Michigan,
USC, Ohio State, see what Penn State does with Matt Campbell over there. So I think there's a lot of competition down the stretch for Indiana, and I don't think Josh Hoover is that type of quarterback that can go and redo what Indiana did last year.
So who did Hoover play for last year?
Do what?
Who did Hoover play for last year?
I think he was at TCU.
I'm going to go blank there, right? Okay. But Mendoza was one of those guys that, man, just seemed to never make the mistake, and he always made the big play, and he's a Heisman guy, right? But I do want to talk real quick, okay? So we talk about those Big Ten schools. Michigan, okay, they're going to be there. Ohio State will be there. USC will be there. Penn State, hopefully they don't fall on their face this year, right? They'll be there.
Mm-hmm.
So where do you see the ranking wise? Where does Indiana fit in that? Is it Ohio State number 1, Indiana 2, Michigan 3, or is Indiana as far down as 5 in that group?
No, I think from what we see from the outside looking in, I see Ohio State being the most talented, wise team on that list.
Yeah.
And I think I would probably fit in Indiana there at 2.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, I would put Penn State behind them. I think
USC.
Michigan's weird with Kyle Whittingham there.
Yeah.
And USC is going to slide right above Michigan. I don't know what I feel about Michigan yet. So
okay. All right.
I'm a little low on it. I think Indiana's going to be worse than 4 toward the end of the year with playoffs. Okay. Texas Tech coming in at number 5. So Joey McGuire, he's, pulled the right strings. He's really been atop this Big 12, and I don't see much changing. Texas Tech, they haven't reinvented the wheel on a lot of things. They brought in Brandon Swordsby from Cincinnati. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the transfer portal, and for good reason. He's a great leader, and he's going to, they're going to bring in a revamp defensively. They're going to lose leaders in Lubbock like Jacob Rodriguez on that defensive side. It's not going to be easy to plug and play. You're going to lose production there. But for Texas Tech, I don't know. I think this could be a position where it's really questionable to put them at. So, Pops, what do you think for Texas Tech?
I guess it's hard to judge a team like this when you play the schedule they have.
Yeah.
And if we put them in the SEC, we play the SEC schedule, Big Ten schedule, maybe even the ACC schedule. I don't think they're as dominant as what they are when they're playing teams like Houston and Cincinnati and their schedule. I don't think there's another top 25 team in their schedule at West Virginia, at Oklahoma State, at Baylor versus TCU.
Yeah.
I guess I don't really, I'm not educated enough on that program, on that team. I know it's oil money. I know they did good in NIL. because of that. But you can leave them where they're at.
Look, Texas Tech,
They're not going to
their
lose
schedule. They have to plug and play with Jacob Rodriguez. It's not going to be as smooth.
Oh,
but
yeah, mustache man.
Even if there's a little bit of drop off there, I don't think their schedule warrants enough to really drop them completely out. I think they're in a good spot here at number 4. I don't think higher or lower. I think they're in a good spot.
Yeah.
All right, number 6, a team Pops will surely know about, Georgia, sitting in there at number 6.
Strong quarter. Go ahead. You go do your thing.
So another year, another non-new quarterback for Georgia. Gunnar Stockton returning again here. So really no significant changes to talk about within the coaching staff. Notable defenders are coming back, meaning Kirby Smart should feel good about this team's chances in a returning bracket there. But the Bulldogs also missed Texas, LSU on their schedule, playing neither of them with those are two opponents with really comparable rosters. They don't really have a gauntlet, I feel like, as they have in past years.
No, they don't.
So Georgia, where they're coming in, maybe it's good, maybe it's not. Pops, what do you think?
You know how much I like Gunnar Stockton. I think he's tough. He's a passionate quarterback. He's what Georgia needs, okay, to put himself there, being a clock manager, being a play manager on the field with all that talent, running back, receivers that Georgia always has. I look at Georgia's schedule for next year. Like you said, they're really not running into a gauntlet. They do have Oklahoma. They do get to come to Tuscaloosa and play Alabama October 10th. If anybody's got any tickets here, send them my way. But they do also have to play at Ole Miss. So, they're going to have a schedule. Do they have 2 losses on their schedule? Probably not. They're probably 11-1, maybe 10-2, whatever that magic number might be. But no, Georgia's they are where they need to be.
Yeah, I mean, Georgia coming off a SEC championship year, no significant changes. That really speaks to success. That's what you want to do.
Yeah,
you just didn't have those changes across the board. So Georgia, I actually think they're too low. I would have rated them higher. I think that with the amount of change that they had, I think that speaks to the success of the Georgia program. I think they're too low in this one.
Okay.
All right, number 7, Oregon Ducks, sitting here at 7. So returning production includes Dante Moore, returning quarterback. He was in the Heisman race toward the end of the season. Of course, they supplemented him barring an injury. They put Dylan Raiola as the backup there. Coming in from Nebraska, Raiola is a former starter. He's got experience. So there's really not a lot of issues there for Oregon to sit behind and say, well, that's rough. Will Stein has left. He's no longer the offensive coordinator there. He's at Kentucky trying to wreak havoc within the SEC. So Dan Lanning is replacing him and a veteran defensive coordinator too. So those are 2 bad changeover moments to really look toward in the offseason when we haven't seen anything else from them. So from our standpoint, sitting here right now, the changes with Oregon's roster doesn't look too pretty. Dante Moore returning, that's fine. But the coordinator positions replacing him is never going to be easy. So looking toward for them, they're finishing off 2 good years. I mean, of course, playoff blowouts. It's those last 2 years. But replacing coordinators, retaining Dante Moore. Pops, higher or lower?
Man, I look at, when we talked Big Ten a few minutes ago, I still have a hard time remembering that Oregon is in the Big Ten now.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think they should be higher, man. You got a quarterback like Dante Moore coming back. Lennon's going to surround him with good players, good receivers, good running backs. He'll have a balanced game. I don't care who the offensive coordinator is. I don't care who the defensive coordinator is. Okay. But if you've got a good quarterback like they have coming back, and you've got all of the boosters and all of the money and everything else, I think they should be higher. I think, if I was to reseed the Big Ten now, man, I might put Ohio State 1, Oregon 2, Indiana 3, Michigan 5 or 6. Who did I leave out there?
Penn State,
yeah.
Matt Campbell.
Man, I think so, man. I got to remember that Oregon is in the Big Ten now.
Oregon, USC, all those good West Coast teams
and then
over there.
Oregon's schedule, though, I mean, they're playing Illinois at Illinois, UCLA at home, USC at USC. Yeah. Ohio State at Ohio State. Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see.
I think.
God, I can't wait for college football to start.
I know.
Again. I'm ready.
We're both thinking the same.
Can we do it
thing
tomorrow, man?
If only we could. Maybe we'll see 8 games televised.
I doubt we'll even see any A games, man.
See what happens there. I'm with you. I think Oregon. Actually, I think they're kind of in the right spot. I mean, a lot of returning production. Dante Moore. It's always great when you have a returning star quarterback. But with the losses of the coordinators, it's not going to be as smooth sailing as much things. But I think with the returning of Dante Moore helps a lot. You're not sticking Rayola in there, who's completely different, a different offense, different, in a lot of ways. So I think they're probably ranked where they should be.
Okay.
All right, moving on. Number 8 on the list, the Ohio State Buckeyes. So we're seeing then coming off a weird season. We all thought they were going to have the breakout like they did the year before last when they won the national championship. So this team, not a lot to talk about this team. They've been pretty quiet other than their acquisitions. I mean, returning Julian Sain for this would be his junior year, if I remember right, in college football. A veteran quarterback. Great production return. You lost Downs, of course, on the defensive side. Caleb Downs is going pro. Brought in some Alabama boys. Cam Calhoun. They resupplied with Quay Russaw, James Smith. So a lot of good replacements coming in there, and they are really set up as a team that is built to play situational defense. They can switch out guys on a whim because they have that talent with their depth. This is an old school SEC built team, kind of how they used to build them just a couple of years ago with Nick Saban. This Ohio State team is talented. Pops, what do you think? Higher or lower?
You heard what I said. I'm Julian saying, man, I think he's as good, if not better than Arch. It hurts to hear those Bama boys going to Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
At least they didn't go in the conference. That's kind of the way I see that when I'm looking at transfers and NIL and all that. But you look at Ohio State's schedule, they're at Texas. They get to play Illinois at home. They're at Indiana. They're at USC. They're going to put some miles. They're going to have some road miles next year. But they do get to play Michigan at home. So, I'm higher, man. I really am.
I mean, they have to go to a slate from Indiana to Oregon to Michigan to USC.
Yeah.
It is a tough slate for them in the Big Ten, something that's not seen as much in the Big Ten. So we'll see a surprise, maybe some adjustments made there. But I'd still say a little higher. Even with the slate they had, I'm high on this Ohio State team. I think they're going in really well. They had the depth to supplement it. So I'd go higher on Ohio State. All right, number 9, Pops. The LSU Tigers.
Way too low.
Lane Kiffin has waited and waited and waited for this job opportunity, and he has used the NIL money very effectively. There's too many transfers to talk about. We can say Sam Leavitt to top it off at quarterback, but no other coach in the country in the SEC faces more pressure than Lane Kiffin right now because of the money LSU has invested in him.
I disagree.
And the players. Statement. So I don't think there's any doubt that this team has hopes to be where they're at. Pops, what do you think? Higher or lower for LSU?
I think they should be higher. They've bought a football team for next year.
Yes, they have.
They really have. They've bought a team for next year.
Might as well call them the Los Angeles Dodgers.
No, we're going to call them the New York Yankees, man.
Well, that's really the Dodgers.
Yeah. I think LSU is going to be the new evil empire. But because I got to go back to what you're saying and have a 2-minute side conversation. So you think that Pretty Boy is on a bigger hot seat than Kalen DeBoer?
I didn't say hot.
You said no. You said there was more pressure.
Yes, yes, Kiffin has the most pressure in the country to perform and put a winning team on that field than Kalen DeBoer.
Oh, no way.
Hot seat wise, I think DeBoer's hotter with the fans and where they sit right now.
Kiffin could lose 6 ball games next year, and he's not going anywhere.
Disagree.
DeBoer loses 6 ball games next year, and man, he will be ran out of the state of Alabama before he can turn his keys into his office, man. DeBoer is on the hot seat, and he has more pressure on him than any coach in all of college
Yeah,
football.
but if
next year.
Kiffin were to put a team out there and they're playing horrible football the first 2 or 3 weeks, they say they get 2 losses in the first 3 weeks,
it's not going to.
you're going to start seeing fans turn.
Let's
You
look
ever
at
seen
LSU's
fans turn in
schedule.
Baton Rouge?
Let's look at what are they going to do? Start throwing corn dogs on the field?
No.
I'm playing.
LSU and Death Valley is one of the hardest places to play in the country. But when you turn those fans, when they started yelling for Brian Kelly to get fired last year, that place turns toxic for the home football team. Absolutely toxic. So, yes, it's dangerous as an away team, but if you could turn those fans against a head coach.
So let's look at what the turbulence. Okay, I may back my words up here, but let's look at the turbulence that Lane Kiffin has in front of him.
Let's go.
For week 1, he gets to play Clemson. I'm laughing at your schedule right now.
And Dabo is okay. In barring,
right, so
Dabo's,
he's not left LA. He's not left the friendly confines of Baton Rouge left.
Okay.
He goes and plays Louisiana Tech. They play at home as well.
Okay.
Then he gets to go on the road to Oxford. He's playing Ole Miss, right? And then
that's a very valuable slate to go 1-2 there.
Hear me out here.
Yeah.
Then he's playing Texas A&M.
You could start the year 1-3.
He could very well.
Okay, there's a real possibility. So for Kiffin to have more pressure on him than DeBoer, I stand by my statement. I'm sticking to my guns on this one, Pops. Kiffin has more pressure than DeBoer. Now DeBoer has a hotter bonfire under his seat.
So once he gets those first 3 games out of the way, he's got McNeese, Kentucky, Mississippi State. Then he's got another triple threat. Hold on. He's got Auburn. No, he's got a quadruple threat. He's got Auburn at Auburn.
Yeah.
Bama at home.
Yep.
Texas at home. Tennessee and Knoxville and Neyland. Then he gets to finish the year out.
We talked about
Arkansas.
We talked about, I don't know if we've talked about Northwestern's schedule in the Big Ten, but they got hosed.
Yeah.
I mean, this is Florida's schedule the last couple of years, but in the Big Ten. Okay?
LSU's got the
LSU
schedule,
may
man.
have gotten hosed this year with their schedule.
Like their fluff games.
McNeese, LA Tech.
Yeah, they do have. They have.
We're waiting to see what Kentucky does with Will Stein at the helm. I think actually Will Stein's very aggressive, and he's recruiting very highly right now, bringing 4 and 5 stars to Lexington for visits. So,
and let's just be honest, you never know what the hell Mississippi State and Auburn's going to do,
or Kentucky. Kentucky always sneaks away with that one crazy win a year.
Kentucky will get that 1 year,
and Lane Kiffin's been on the wrong side of that a couple times already.
Man.
So the argument could be made there.
Okay. All right. Yeah. It would be music to my ears to see Lane Kiffin start the year 1-3. But I do think I will say this about this LSU team. Okay. Definitely an NIL bot team, right? So they're going to be an experienced team. Okay.
Yeah.
They've been able to do pretty well on the recruiting side as well this week. Of course, NIL money again there. Okay. You've got money. You got these 18-year-old kids with these. They've got that paid sponsorship thing. I forget what it's called, that collective with Nike.
Yeah, the Nike collective.
And so LSU is going to be fine. And even if they start the year off a little shaky, man, as the more snaps get taken throughout the year, LSU is just going to be just fine. I would love to see Bama go in and just rip Lane Kiffin, but we'll see what happens, man.
All right, 3 teams remaining on this list. Guys, we're just tuning in. This is the way too early top 12 prediction for the college football playoff of 2026. That's laughable, that statement there. It's way too early to be talking about this, but we're supplemented with the list, and it's provided some good conversation.
And it's the 2 with TOO.
Pops, we're done talking about that. I'll wear the crown on Friday.
Saturday morning.
I'll wear it. All right. Number 10 on this list, the Texas A&M Aggies at plus 1,500 to win the national championship next year. It's worth a long shot for this, but
yeah,
the Aggies are 19-7 the last 2 seasons under Elko. They nearly secured a top 4 spot in the playoff last year before the rivalry weekend with Texas took place. Marcel Reed's returning at quarterback. Other playmakers, Reuben Owens and Mario Craver, both returning as well. The biggest question is going to be the offensive line, as they're replacing every single starter on this list.
Crimea River.
So we're going to see a very extended look and trying to figure out where this team is going to be heading into the season. But they're looking to have very, very high expectations under Elko. I think I just forgot to say what I thought about LSU. I think they're actually in the correct spot. I think this is about where LSU is going to finish.
Oh, okay.
Texas A&M Pops, what do you think? Higher or lower?
Where they need to be. I think the schedule will say everything. You know, they get to play Bama at Bama. They're playing at LSU. They got the tough schedule again. All of the normal SEC schools, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think they're where they need to be.
All right, Pops.
My energy, I got to turn it up, man.
You do. I understand you. You're good. You're good.
Long day.
I think actually Texas A&M needs to be higher on the list. I'm
All right.
high on Texas A&M with Elko returning, Marcel Reed, Ruben Owens. This is a very good team returning. I think over there in College Station, they're going to have some good success next year.
I do know they're one of the harder teams to play in a college football game. Yeah. You get Marcel Reed running, and you got a guy that knows how to run that team. Man, they're hard to play.
All right, last two teams here, and this is where I'm going to get labeled a hater. Number 11, Memphis Tigers.
I don't know. Hey.
All right, we'll go through it. All right, so Charles Huff is receiving a lot of love here. If you don't know who Charles Huff is, he's the former coach of Southern Miss. Before that, he was at Marshall. Before that, he was the running backs coach for Mississippi State, Alabama, and Penn State. Charles Huff has brought in a lot of transfers to this list, to this team. Ryan Silverfield was here last year. Silverfield has now moved on to Arkansas, but I mean, you have 50 transfers coming into this game. 17 from Power 5 programs, and more than a dozen ex-Southern Miss Players have stuck with Coach Huff, who honestly didn't get a lot of success at Southern Miss. He's won one, I think, American champ. I'm gonna have to go back.
If you win
he's won one national conference championship.
If you win a conference championship anywhere, man, you're doing something right. But
so we're going to discuss that here in a second. So Memphis, they played well last season. Then you have Ryan Silverfield's departure. Then we're moving on with Charles Huff. So let's get to the actual bread and butter of this Memphis team. In the transfer portal, they brought in Aaron Nolan. He's a former 4-star recruit, committed to Ohio State, ended up going to South Carolina, and now he is here with the Memphis Tigers. Marcus Stokes, another quarterback, has transferred in here, a West Florida transfer. This kid is talented. This could be your next Division II FCS quarterback that makes the jump like Trinidad Chambliss and have a lot of success. 3,200 yards, 30 touchdowns, 13 interceptions this last year, 376 rushing yards, 10 touchdowns. He won the GSC Offensive Player of the Year, the D2 CCA Super Region 2 Offensive Player of the Year, and the Harlan Hill Trophy finalist. This kid has talent. They're also bringing Dylan Hayden, running back from Colorado, and also played at Ohio State. 8 games last year, 70 carries, 326 yards, and a touchdown. Defensive additions, Mike Montgomery. He led Southern Miss in tackles last year at the linebacker position. And then Leonard Jean-Charles also added to the defensive line depth. This team is weird. It's a lot of transfers, a lot of kids that have never been heard about. And we're talking about the number 11 way too early ranking for them. He won a Sun Belt Conference championship with Marshall. Charles Huff did. He went 32-20 there. 1 year at Southern Miss, he went 7-5. Are we really looking at saying this guy's going to build this team and take them to a college football playoff appearance as the group of 5s or group of 6 one appearance?
Well, if you want me to answer that question, yes. Okay. Memphis schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, where did it go? Oh, shoot. I was there. Never mind. Their schedule is okay. The schedule is absolutely ridiculously weak.
Mm-hmm.
The toughest team they're going to play, and I'm not looking at it now, but I did do a quick scan. It's probably Navy. Okay. They could probably be ranked number 11 all year long.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see them losing a football game. It's going to be another game. It's going to be another team where you picked up a bunch of players. The fans are going to step into the Memphis Tiger Stadium. They're going to be like, "Hey, who's that guy?" I mean, like on every player.
Yeah.
But I don't see them losing football games. If they're bringing in 5 stars where they didn't have any before, then all of a sudden they're still playing the Rice Owls and UAB and nothing to knock against a UAB, but it just that level of competition is not where you expect. Will there be a college football team? Hell, I think they can go undefeated with the schedule they've got.
Really?
Yeah.
I disagree. I think Memphis is ranked way too high. I haven't seen them gel together. I haven't seen how good Aaron Nolan is. I've never seen him play a game. If you're going to start Marcus Stokes, I have no
Why do I know the name Marcus Stokes?
I have no inkling of I think there's also a basketball player named Marcus Stokes.
Okay.
I have no inkling of what Marcus Stokes has. I mean, I know what he's done, but I don't know if he's going to come in and be the next Trinidad Chambliss in college football.
Okay, so Memphis does play Boise State, right?
Okay, that's fair. They're in the Pac-12 now.
Okay, so UT Martin, Charlotte, UAB, Army.
Hold on, UT Martin. They're playing Ty Simpson's dad, Jason Simpson.
Yeah. You and
we're talking about a team that is playing Jason Simpson is going to be.
Okay, hold on. I got to reset my whole thinking here.
Okay,
they've got Tulane on the schedule.
Without Summerall, I don't know what Tulane's going to look like.
I really look at the schedule.
And Summerall didn't wreck that team. Yeah, but I don't know what's going to happen in the future there with him.
Yeah, I really look at that schedule.
All right, Pops, we do have to move on real quickly or go.
Oh yeah,
we're late to the show right now. 18 minutes left of the program now. All right, number 12 on the list, Michigan Wolverines. So Kyle Whittingham stepping in after he retired from Utah, has returned to coaching, didn't even take a year off. I think he took 1 game off, didn't coach Utah in their conference, or their bowl game this year. But Whittingham, he gets the most out of his roster a lot of the times. He's going to enhance resources. He should push Michigan back into the playoff conversation, but they've got a gauntlet of a schedule as well. Oregon, Indiana, Ohio State, returning guys. I'm going to go Bryce Underwood returning on this roster. Pops, what do you think?
I think the name there you just said, it's Bryce Underwood. That's where I was going to go. The old football coach is going to do what he does. He's going to win football games, right? He'll put Michigan in a position to win. He's an experienced coach. The good ones can do that. But I still look at Michigan when I sit there and I think about their schedule, who they have to play next year, playing in a really strong Big Ten. I think to give them a ranking, like a week 1 ranking of number 12, sure, put them there. You can put anybody there. We could put the Rice Owls right now at number 12 and make the argument because they've got 2 really good guys on the offensive line. And we could make the argument that the Rice Owls are this 12th best team in the country. To be ranked number 12, sure, put them there. Are they the 12th best team in the country? Man, I'd make some arguments with that. But they do have a damn good quarterback with Underwood. Lane Kiffin would love to have Underwood. He didn't get it.
No, that's true. Lane Kiffin would have loved to have him, but not coming down.
But I have a question now. I got a total question, right? Like, why did you go with CBS Sports is way too early? Top 12.
I thought it was the most controversial.
Oh, I'm looking at ESPN's.
Just list I pulled.
I mean, if you look at the list we just went through, right, and you compare it to, I don't know, the standard of sports, ESPN, I don't know.
Yeah.
That list is like different, man.
It's totally different. Well, there's totally a lot more differences to go ahead. We can go through more in the future. I mean, all off season to talk about.
If you take, I'm just comparing that.
Yeah.
Like when you I was wondering, because I didn't even see the list you have, right? And, you didn't talk about Bama. Okay.
Bama's not ranked on this list.
Okay. You didn't talk about Penn State.
Penn State's not ranked on this list.
You did not talk about Missouri.
Not ranked on the list.
Vandy's not there. Washington's not there. You know who else isn't on that list? Oklahoma.
Oh, not on the list.
Boomer Sooners not on that list.
I don't even know who's returning at quarterback yet for Oklahoma.
Well, you take the way too early top 25 with our favorite guy we like to watch, Josh Payton.
Yeah.
Boomer Sooners, number 9.
We could see if there. I got to do more research on it.
Well, my point with all of this is, it's my energy level is way low right now.
Yeah.
But all these way too early top lists, I think the rankings last year proved to us right off the bat that rankings don't mean crap on week 1.
Don't need rankings week 1. You're right. It doesn't.
So for us to be talking about a way too up, but I get it. We get a number we can base everything off of, and we can sit there and say that Ohio State should be number 1, or Texas or Notre Dame or the defending national champs, Indiana, those Hoosiers. But, in the end, they're going to put a number beside somebody. And on week 1 and way too early, 26 weeks out from college football, whatever that number is, I have no clue. It is way too early. We could put anybody at any number and make the argument for why they should be ranked there.
100%. And the only thing this does is give us content. But if you really want to know my true feelings on week 1 rankings, you're right. It doesn't need to be there. You know why it doesn't need to be there? Let's go back to Florida State a couple of years ago. Mike Norvell, DJ Uyunglele led team. They went out on the field all off season. The people around the program, this team's good. This team's more physical.
Awesome. Best team ever.
Okay, this team is going to be really good. We're looking at a potential undefeated season. Yeah. And they go out there and they lay a stinker.
Yeah.
And Uyunglele was terrible. He ended up getting hurt. The whole roster ended up not playing half the year. That's why week 1 rankings should not exist. I think Florida State's a perfect existence of it.
Dude, I'm playing devil's advocate with you.
I know exactly.
I really enjoyed the show tonight, having this conversation. It's been good.
You just think it's not the right teams there.
Well, no, I'm not saying that. I still think Bama's in the top 12. You can sit there and say what you want.
I think Bama's going to be around the 13th, 14th opening the season. I think you sit them at 13th, 14th. And I think Michigan's going to be – they may start off the season high, but I think they're actually going to get ran through in the Big Ten. I don't think Whittingham is going to do great. I actually think he's going to have more of a subpar season, sitting around barely bowl eligible.
Let's talk about the conferences real quick. How much time we got? We got 12 minutes.
12 minutes. So real quickly, hold on a second. So guys, remember Saturday morning we're going to be answering this and really go farther into it. But we've introduced the Off the Bench Verdict segment this week. You can go over to our Facebook page at Off the Bench and let us know what you think of the question we have asked this week. So overall, is NIL helping or hurting college football as a whole? Some fans say it's leveling the playing field. Others say it's turning the sport into free agency without rules. So guys, let us know your thoughts on that. Head over to our Facebook page at Off the Bench. Check it out. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think about the question there. So Pops.
Hey, real quick before we get into this, so we don't forget this. Hey, thanks, Jamie, Carl, Vagabond, Eli. Hey, guys, thanks for throwing your comments out there on the socials tonight. Really appreciate it. It helps us keep the show flowing. It helps us play off your comments, your words. But a lot of comments around Tech and the Ducks and Eli's love for Mississippi State and them cowbells. Right. And, so thanks, guys. Just want to say thanks for tuning in.
And to piggyback off that, guys, make sure you like, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Turn that notification bell on YouTube so you know when we go live. And I'll tell you what, guys, the best way to support the show, just like the show, subscribe, and share the show around. That's the best way to simply go out there and just help us build this program, build this show up. That way, our whole jobs can be just to talk to you guys all day. Of course, that's what you want at the end of the day, right? That's the best way to support the show, guys, and we really appreciate it. So, Pops, I know you said you want to talk about the conferences?
Yeah, man. I mean, we sit there and we've talked a lot about the Big Ten. We talked a lot about the SEC. We spent a little bit of time in the ACC, but I look at the Big Ten and I look at their conference next year. I think they're going to be just Billy Badass. I mean, they're stacked. I mean, Oregon, Ohio State, Michigan. Everybody's high on Michigan. We're not. Is Penn State back? What does Iowa do? These are all teams that finish strong, right? What does Illinois do? Remember all the hype around Illinois at the beginning of last year? And let us not forget about the beloved Hoosiers. I mean, not that I love them, but half the country seemed to be in love with them in a Cinderella story. So, but I really think that Big Ten, man, is just stacked and loaded. And guess what, Big Ten? Guess what you get to do next year? You get to beat up on one another. Okay?
That's exactly what happened.
Welcome to the SEC schedule.
To a point, I think you're still sitting at a situation with the Big Ten. If you have a top heavy conference, you have your Penn States, your Ohio States, your Michigans, your Oregons, your USC,
but there's like Indiana 6 teams there.
There is, okay. Yeah. I think you have better teams toward the top this coming year than you do toward the bottom. I mean, you still have your Northwesterns. You still have your Rutgers. There's teams there that are still going to have issues. You'll have your mid-team
issues. Forgot about USC and all of this.
I mentioned USC.
Oh, you didn't mention USC?
I thought I did.
Okay, all right.
If not, USC is going to be toward that top of the list. They're going to be kind of middle top of the list.
Got like
sitting there just above Iowa. And forget how big, Washington's going to be in that mid tier as well, towards the top of the tier. Big Ten, and I'll say it right now, looking into next season, they're more talented than the SEC right now.
Yeah, probably.
But you still won't. That's fair. The way the scheduling works, you still won't see the week in, week out consistency that the SEC is going to bring towards, and the SEC is going to beat up on each other. We don't know what we don't know what South Carolina, how good they're going to be next year. They're going to be top of the conference. Missouri with Drinkwitz over there. Tennessee, what are they doing? Is Aguilar going there? Is McIntyre going to take over the starting job there?
Who's playing quarterback?
At Alabama, the question mark still arises. Keelan Russell and Austin Mack. I think Keelan Russell's the guy right now. From what I'm hearing from the camp, Keelan's
everything you're seeing right now here in Bama, Keelan's the guy. But I don't think Keelan and Austin Mack is the biggest conversation in Alabama right now.
For the running back crew?
It's still the running backs, and more importantly, I think it's still the offensive linemen, right? Bama was able to pick up a couple of key guys from Michigan, the dude from Ole Miss. I mean, so they reloaded on the offensive line. But the reality is, though, you got one starter coming back, and that one starter last year was a freshman. Okay, so you got one starter coming back, and then you've got to reload. You got a new center. You lose Caden Proctor. You lose Brailsford. You're losing a lot of those key pieces. Your center, your left tackle.
But I think with the bringing in of Adrian Clem, the offensive line coach, as well as replacing this whole offensive line crew, it gives you a chance to start with a fresh slate. Alabama has struggled to run the ball under Kalen DeBoer. Kalen DeBoer has seemingly always struggled to run the ball.
He throws it.
Same with Grubb. Right?
I mean, Grubb, throw the football.
Well, look at the Seahawks. Grubb had one of the worst run games in the country last year with Seattle. And look what the Seahawks are doing right now. They're top 5 in the league.
You know what? Does with Gus leaving Florida State, does it kind of open the Gus bus to come to Bama? Wouldn't that be something? Gus
bus. He's coached for 35 years. He's going to take his time, and he's already down in Tallahassee. He's just going to go a little farther south and get him some white sand between his toes.
Yeah. Well, but we can sit there and we'll have to do an entire show maybe in the next couple of weeks on what the positions look like at Bama. We are a Bama-based show, so we're going to be a little biased with that. But, Kelsey, I will say this, man, it's been a fun show tonight. We got to talk about a lot of different teams. And I tell you what, I made fun of you earlier for the guys, if you could see the background, the prep that this young man does, right? He said, Dad, I got to print this page. I got to do that. I got to do that. But, old man over here, I just kind of show up and just talk, right? But the prep that goes into this and what the show is trying to do for the off season right now, Kelsey, I applaud you on that one, man.
I appreciate that. It's good work there. Hey, I'll tell you, last couple of years working in radio, prep is a lot. Now it's become less over the last couple of years. Once you learn and kind of get the basics, you can kind of wing it in some areas. You can't do that. But
well, you learn after a little bit. You're just talking, man.
That's exactly
and I think that's what we've always kind of aimed for with this show. Is let's just have a conversation, Hey, real quick, though, let's go to the ACC, but we got 5 minutes left. Miami, Clemson, Virginia Tech.
Clemson, I think, is going to be better. Dorian Mintza's departure from Duke is going to hurt. It's going to be a little bit of a scar this late. They don't have a chance to go out in the portal and get another replacement quarterback.
Virginia.
Miami's going to be one of the best teams in the country. I'll tell you right now. Tech is going to be a scary team. We do not know what Franklin's bringing. I mean, we know exactly what Franklin's bringing there. But how well is he going to mold with Tech? You know, is he going to go out there? Is he making those phone calls to the recruits and saying, hey, we're going to call you. We're going to offer you. We want you in Tech.
Yeah.
Does that actually mean something? It did at Penn State, but does it mean in the ACC?
I wonder how Franklin's going to, run out on the field. As soon as we say Tech, man, Metallica just goes into my head, right? I wonder how he's going to respond to that. But, I look forward to the days where Virginia Tech is back, man. I really do. When Virginia Tech is back, it's a tough place to play. Blacksburg is tough. Okay, it's loud. Okay, but the last couple of years, Tech's just been down. So I'm hoping Franklin does something big there, man. I'm hoping he puts them back on the map in college football where they need to be.
Now, Franklin's going to be the big question mark, I think, of the ACC and possibly the entire season of what he does is going to decide a lot of things. And if he can make a dent, make it to the playoffs, and actually go forward with this Tech program and get them to where they are back. I mean, no more Beamer ball there, but you have a chance to go get James Franklin in really at the middle of the season. And now you're going to see him going out to, of course, what's that song called? I don't know. But you have a chance to really
Enter Sandman.
Yes, you have a chance to really do some good things there at Tech, and I'm going to see. I'm really interested to see how much of a dent they can put in the ACC. Plus, we're going to see Franklin versus Dabo, Franklin versus Cristobal. Some good coaching matchups there.
Yeah.
All right, guys, real quickly here before we end off the show, let me tell you about something. I'm a big hat guy. Not that I control the hat industry, but I am a big hat guy, meaning I wear them all the time. I do. To work, just hanging around the house, whatever, right? Branded Bills, affiliate partner of the show here. They do some great hats. They're kind of like golf hats, but at the same time, they're a dry fit 5-panel trucker hat kind of. If you got a big head, Pop's got a big head.
Man, I got a big head if you can't tell already.
It fits in perfectly fine, guys. So go hit them up at.
I don't know why the camera just shifted, man.
Camera shifted all over the place. That's okay. Go hit them up, guys, in the description. Of course, Branded Bills / Off the Bench CFB show. That's where you can find them right there in the description. So go get yourselves a hat. They're great hats.
Make sure you use the link in the description, guys. It supports the show.
Of course, guys. And, of course, to support the show, best way to do so, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and share the show. It's the best way you can support us, guys. Help us get this to where we can really be proud of it. And not that we aren't already, but...
Man, I'm proud of it.
I'm proud of it. But, guys, let's get in the right spot. Bring you all the way till next season. Of course, the offseason, we're not going anywhere. Still here every Saturday and Wednesday. We'll see you guys on Saturday on 7:30 a.m., 103.9 FM, Jocks Huntsville, and, of course, here on YouTube. We'll see you guys then.